Hello, all you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players out there. This is Dragothien here, and today we've got a new patch 1.0.39. Heroic Anthem is on its way. 2 weeks from now, it's going to be on the 12th of October. So, big things here. I've already read through it. I've already kind of parsed a little bit of it, and I'm interested in quite a few things here. I've also got a little bit of insight into the Lost Kingdom thing. I'll go over some of that inside of this explanation. All of it's pretty straightforward. There's not really any kind of, what does this mean? What does this mean? It's pretty straightforward. However, I do want to give a little bit more insight into the Lost Kingdom Heroic Anthem that I've heard from the people that I trust having information on these things. So, first off, again, it's coming in 2 weeks. Now, the Lost Kingdom portion, which is number 1, that's coming in a month. So, you've got 2 weeks for the patch, and then you've got 2 weeks after the patch. This particular theme of the Lost Kingdom will go live in a few kingdoms. So basically it'll start kind of rotating through the first set of kingdoms and work its way up into everything else. That's the idea. Now, I'm not going to read through all the fluff here, but I will say you need to make sure that you understand when this is going to come. So you need to have done the first 2 KvKs. So KvK 1 being your continent KvK, KvK 2 being the continent, or not the continent, being the KvK that is top 300 power ranking, where they bring all the kingdoms together that way. And then you also need to go through your first light and darkness. Now, I don't think it doesn't describe it here where it says you can choose if you want to do light versus darkness or heroic anthem. I'm not sure if it's going to be a choice versus if it's going to be the next light versus darkness where you have to do the next phase. But that we'll see that in the next week or the next month or so. But basically what you want to understand here is this is going to be your KvK 4 for all you newer kingdoms, and for you older kingdoms, your next KvK should be Heroic Anthem. So that's very good. Now, camp division. These are kind of the rules and the setups between this KvK, and this is very important to understand. So different kingdoms can unite to form a camp, which technically in light versus darkness, you already kind of have that. You have light versus darkness. Well, this one is a little different because it looks like it's going to be like the old KvKs where there's not going to necessarily be a team, a hard team. You're going to have to actually do some diplomacy and ally up if you want to, do the next set of stuff here. So, joining together to face the strongest enemies. Coalition combat. This is a big deal. Alliances of the same camp can join together to form coalitions. The way I read this, the way I read this section, number 2 of number 1, so bringing the fighting and coordination up a whole level from a single alliance. This is basically giving the functionality, in my opinion, and this isn't set in stone, but this is what I'm taking from it. This is giving the opportunity for alliances from different kingdoms to merge into one alliance from a flagging perspective. So we all know that even alliances in the same kingdom, right? They have the same color, but they don't necessarily have the same tag on the flag. So if you're on one of the alliance's flags in your kingdom that's not yours, you are open to attack. With coalition combat, the way this is reading to me, you'll be able to basically form a pseudo-alliance between alliances, and you'll be able to jointly go places from a flagging perspective. That's the way I'm seeing it. Maybe it's different, but that's kind of the way I'm reading it, and I think that's really cool. And it depends on how the mechanics of this work out as to how cool this is, but hopefully it's not to where you can just ally the whole thing up and everything's good. I want to be able to zero people, and this is going to stop that from happening if everybody in the alliances from all the kingdoms can do that. So hopefully there's some kind of limitation mechanic in here to make sure that doesn't happen. Next set. This is something that I've heard people kind of jest at asking for 2 years in this game. Skill synergies. Now, I like it. And the reason I say it, I like it because it sets apart the people who understand the game and know what the skills do and understand the mechanics versus people who necessarily just pour money into the game and throw gold things at stuff. This will basically enable you to make your perfect commander. Now, it seems to be only in this KvK, which is good. You don't want this running around in normal kingdom or even, the earlier KvKs because it would be a disaster. Kind of see one commander having Richard's Heal with YSG's damage bonus and AoE, or Alex's Shield with Attila Takeda, stuff like that. This would be a thing. This is what it's talking about. So troops can equip extra commander skills for a new level of skill synergy potential. Put the right skills together, the results will astound you. That would be very astounding. So if I can do those things, this would be very astounding. There's going to be a whole plethora of combinations that we're going to go through on this channel, assuming this works the way it's written. So there's going to be a lot of different combinations, not just gear, but also skills now in the new KvK. I will definitely be putting some good combinations together so that you have the perfect combination of commanders with the perfect skills inside to really cause some devastation, and rally combinations and garrison combinations. Oh my goodness. I'm already thinking about it. All right. Next one, returning heroic souls. A set portion of your units killed in battle during this season will be brought back to life, ready to continue following you on your venture. Why, if you're going to do this now, why wasn't this retroactive? I would love some of my, 18 million dead troops back. It'd be amazing. It doesn't look like they're doing that. It's not retroactive. It looks like it's just for this new KvK. So for those of you that are going into KvK 2 and KvK 3, this I don't think applies. So I like it and I don't like it. I like the fact that it's not as expensive of a KvK necessarily, because you do get some of your stuff back. However, I also don't like the fact that the people that I zero and I went after are going to get some of their stuff back. So, it's a double-edged sword, right? Take it for what it is. Whichever one you have more value on is how you're going to feel about number 4. I personally am kind of literally dead set in the middle. I like some of my stuff back, but at the same time, I don't have a problem having enough troops to fight on the battlefield. So this probably has to do with ARC, by the way, guys. They want people to be able to play KvK, but also be able to do ARC with their full set of troops. So that's the idea, I think, behind that number. Now here, I'm going to do some more conversation here in just a second about the top one here, but with the KvK, because I think I have some insights that might help a little bit. But these you also need to be gone through because they're very important. So the second one, not as important, but still decent. Basically, they're making the Protect the Supplies event more reasonable. If you've done it before, I did it on my 916 account, and it was almost impossible to do with 20 star. And I had good tech, good commanders, good amount of troops, all that good stuff. It was almost impossible, especially with all the crap that's in your way as it's walking around. So they've made it a little bit easier, but also made it more reasonable. Number 3, other optimizations. Now these are very, very important. So the Lost Kingdom governors can no longer use the Alliance skill Nature's Gift. This is a huge deal. You can't plunk down 5 Nature's Gifts in front of somebody's pass and effectively stop them from flagging for the first 4 to 5 hours of Kingsland. That's been needed for a while. It took a while, but eventually it has arrived. This is a good thing. Nobody uses Nature's Gift for its purpose inside of KvK because you've got level 9 resource nodes. Why would you do resource nodes from the Alliance skill when you've got plenty of level 8, 7, 8, 9 resources that you can actually use? So the only reason Nature's Gift was used in KvK ever was when they were trying to block people. So that's good. During the Light and Darkness season, while the map may display multiple ancient ruins and altars of darkness, governors can only send troops to enter one at a time. Now, this is pretty good. I like it because it allows you to focus on what's going on. It does take some of the strategy out of it, which I'm a little fuzzy on that. I'm not a huge fan of that. But overall, if you want that ruin, you've got to put your one troop in, and you've got to fight for it. You can't rely on... The strategy has been, right, one alliance gets the ruins, the other alliances come in to defend the pass, and then that's it. That's been the strategy for the last couple Light versus Darkness KvKs. This makes it to where if you want that ruin, you're going to have to fight for it and make sure that you're at the ruin to do it. So you need to be overwhelmingly beating your opponent well before the ruins start, or, again, you're going to have to fight at some point in there. So I like this because it's probably going to generate a lot more fights, which is, in my opinion, always a better thing. Number 3, after stage 1 of Past Glory, the buff kingdoms, this was a big one. The buff kingdoms received a 15% attack defense health, which was a 40% stat bonus overall, has been changed to 50% increased attack. I can just see the reports from Attila Takeda hitting a city now. I can just see it. I can also just see garrison rally reports in the tens of millions because of this. Because you're going to have to pour troops in. 50% attack, that's huge. I don't know if they fully factored in what's actually in the game right now when they came up with this number. And it's going to be interesting. We'll have to see how it plays out. I personally think that's too much. 15% attack, defense, and health was pretty significant. Now we're jumping to 50% all-in attack. I have a feeling that it's going to be pretty absurd what we're going to be seeing from that. But we'll see. Number 4, we added an alliance reclaim function to the alliance shop, allowing governors to exchange their unwanted items for individual credits. So basically, you're going to be able to trade in your arrows, your books, your research speed-ups, your building speed-ups, whatever you don't want, okay? And they're going to give you alliance credits, which then you can use to buy teleports, speed-ups, governor rename stuff, civ change scrolls, VIP points. You can do whatever you want. Now, the expense of things in the alliance shop is pretty damn high. So I need to see what the exchange rates are looking like before I kind of make a determination on this. It's something, right? It's something better than nothing. I still don't know if I want to do it right now or if I want to wait to see if they come out with something better. So unless it's absolutely crazy, the returns that you get, I'm probably not going to do this right away. Or maybe I'll do it on one account just to show you guys what it looks like. But on my main, I likely won't do it until I think it's worth it. So, but we'll see what that looks like whenever it comes out. Alliance credit costs and difficulty have been reduced for some levels of the Silk Road event. That's cool. The Soroli Crisis. There's a couple Soroli Crisis things in here. So Soroli Crisis event has a new general, Torgny, ready and waiting for governors to challenge. That's very good. So we have our 5th and I guess final Soroli Crisis boss. So that's good. We can get rid of all 5 of them now whenever they pop up, annoyingly during 18 other events. But we'll go ahead and knock those out as well. And once we get Torgny in the rotation, I'll go ahead and bring that to you guys on the channel as well. The display for the Peerless Scholar event has been optimized. That's cool. We added a hide own news and newspaper function to the settings, which governors can make use of as they see fit. So if you want to read about other kingdoms and not necessarily about your kingdom or your alliance, then you can hide that. I'm not sure what the massive purpose of that is, but that's a thing. We added an unoccupied territory marking function to scenario, battles, Ian's Ballad, and Soroli Crisis events. Unoccupied territory marking function. I don't understand what that means. Maybe you guys can say it in the comment section below, because I don't necessarily understand what that means. Added an unoccupied territory marking function. Oh, okay. So like in the regular kingdom, where you hold the button on an open area and you can mark it. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what it is. There we go. We did this together, guys. The Quick Forge function can now count and use material crates and material choice chests. So I don't understand how they're going to use material crates because those are random. That was my question whenever I read this. But they already do that with choice chests. I hope you guys know that. So the Quick Forge function uses material choice chests as a normal resource whenever you're building something. But the material crates, I'm not 100% on how they're going to do that because those are random. But anyway, we optimized the display for equipment blueprint choice chests and commander sculpture chests. Governors can now see how much they already have of each choice. I thought we already could, but okay. We added a more convenient help access. Basically, it helps you get to customer service faster so you can get responses once a day. We optimized the marching troops emoji and quick chat systems. Awesome. Number 14, we have removed the kingdom-wide immigration message function. This is one that is a huge deal. And when I saw that they put this in the game, at first I was like, this is a lot of messages. But then I was like, this is really cool. Because I can see who's coming into the kingdom and make sure that they're not somebody that shouldn't be here. If they're removing that, that's a huge problem. In my opinion, this is something that needs to be removed from the patch. In my opinion. Selfishly, I want this. Now, if I was somebody who was a roamer and I just wanted to go to different kingdoms and cause havoc and whatever, this would be awesome because they wouldn't be able to see me coming until I'm doing things. But from an organization of a kingdom perspective, especially one that's trying to do a migration, you want this message. You want these messages. I think a good compromise for this is maybe only the king gets these messages and everybody else doesn't. So I think that would be a compromise. I still would like, even as a non-king, to get these messages just so I know who's coming into the kingdom that I'm playing in. But at least let the king have it so that when they're doing a migration, you can monitor when you open that that lock on the kingdom for a person to come in, that 5 other people don't come pouring through. You want to have that information. So you'll see it eventually on the individual ranker report for the kingdom, but it takes a while. So I think this would be something that shouldn't be done at all, or at least get the king to have the report email. Number 15, we added an opponent's troop choice function to the expedition system. Governors can tap the enemy portrait list on the left side of the screen to choose your enemy's troops. Okay, that's interesting. I think the majority of us have finished the expedition, but if you have not, that's really cool. Or maybe you can use it as a testing ground and choose the right troops that you want to fight. We reworked the triggering mechanism of Guan Yu's expertise skill, Lone Rider. Now Guan Yu will deal increased skill damage for 3 seconds whenever he gains a shield. I thought that was already the case. So I need to look at this and take a peek again, because I could have swore that was his expertise already, along with the increased march speed from basically being in a alliance node. So I'm kind of curious if they've nerfed his skill or if they've changed it. I thought this was already a thing. Increased skill damage for 3 seconds whenever he gains a shield. Which is why you want to have a coin on Guan Yu's equipment, along with maybe a shield producing commander. So increase the attack range of William the First's hidden bloodline skill. This is good. Everybody's been complaining about the vertical rectangle AoE not being big enough. This will hopefully help with that and make it bigger, and then bigger is always better in this case. So number 18, and finally, in order to ensure account safety for all governors, after the update, all governors using Android iOS emulators, which is what I'm on right now, LD player, link in the description below, emulators to play will need to log in on their mobile devices if they want to create a new character. So if you want to make a new character, just get on your phone, your tablet, whatever, and you can do it. I don't necessarily see the value in this, but there's something there, so that's a thing. Now let's go back up to, really quickly before we wrap this up, we're coming up on 20 minutes. I know it's a little bit longer of a video, but I want you guys to understand what's going on, and I think we've got the rundown on all this stuff, and I think you should listen to all of it. So here we go. Lost Kingdom Heroic Anthem. I have a feeling, and I haven't seen any of the leak stuff. I know there's some leak stuff out there, but I've got a feeling based off of what I've heard of things, is it's going to be a free-for-all KvK like the first two are, but they're going to have a flavor of the light versus darkness in the sense that each kingdom will have a bonus damage against the other kingdoms. So say it's a four kingdom KvK, which it might be because it doesn't say 8 versus 8, or 8 kingdoms in one KvK. It doesn't say anything remotely close to that. So it could be a 4 kingdom KvK, and say Kingdom 1 has a bonus damage against Kingdom 2, has no bonus against Kingdom 3, and has a debuff against Kingdom 4. So kind of like the light versus darkness with the burn speed and the extra damage, light against darkness and vice versa. This would be something like you've got a bonus, you've got nothing, and you've got a debuff against your enemies. And then you want to take that into account whenever you're partnering up with other kingdoms to form coalitions and all that good stuff. So that's going to be another level of strategy that you're going to have to wrap your head around as this KvK is coming in, because literally that's how you're going to win or lose. I think that you're going to have to understand the mechanics of the system and partner up with the right people and the right kingdoms so that you can win. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I wanted to go through it because this is a big deal. I usually don't go through patch notes this early on because, again, sometimes changes do happen. However, a lot of these are really big, and especially with the Lost Kingdom stuff and the migration stuff, and certainly the bonuses and benefits to the commanders that are towards the bottom there too. I think it's very, very nice to understand what we're doing here. And a new KvK is always nice to kind of understand too. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.